Commission reports a smooth start to national and provincial elections for 2024. By 7 o'clock, 93% of our network of 23,292 voting stations were reported open, both physically and online. The remainder of the voting stations at which we were delayed opened within the hour. We also unfortunately report that there were a number of voting stations at which we opened late, owing to delays on our material handling, also related to issues of escort where there were not enough security services to escort our material, including protest in certain communities. In most stations, queues had already formed before the stations were meant to open at 7. This, we think, is testament to the enthusiasm of South Africans to record their political choice. The Commission respects its obligation to ensure that each of the 27 million registered voters will receive an opportunity to record that choice before voting closes this evening. At 12 o'clock, the election operations around the country were reported to have been in good progress with minimal incidences that we are dealing with. Some of the incidences that we had to deal with are the following: late delivery of ballot papers, mostly in the city of Johannesburg and Region 3, which is the Sandton, Dunkeld, and Heidi Park area, as well as the Reduport area, because of departure to the strict instruction of delivery. People were being innovative, and in the process, they delayed the supply of voting materials to those stations. In the Eastern Cape, we had 5 voting stations that were not opened owing to community protest. Again, there we have confirmation that working with the South African Police Department, the voting stations are now open. There were 2 in Ntabankulu, 1 in Winnie Mandela, 1 in Port St. John's, and 1 in Enyandeni. Similarly, there were 20 voting stations at which we opened beyond 9 o'clock in the area of eThekwini, as well as in Umzi Wabantu, where owing to community protest, the stations could not open, even though our staff were ready and able to administer the electoral project. The Commission assures voters that adequate supplies of all material, including 90 million ballot papers for all the 3 ballot types, are available, and every voter will be assisted to vote before voting stations close. We use this opportunity to remind voters of the following. 1, that they may only vote at a voting station at which they are registered, unless they had by the 17th of May given pre-notification to the Independent Electoral Commission to indicate the station at which they will vote and to do so and present at that station today on the 29th of May. That said, a voter who had given pre-notification to vote elsewhere but finds themselves at their voting district, that voter will be allowed to vote at that voting station, and they will be entitled to receive all their 3 ballots. The Commission also confirms that voting kicked off at various correctional facilities across the country to enable inmates who are registered and incarcerated an opportunity to cast a vote, and in fulfillment of Section 24B of the Electoral Commission Act. We've just concluded a meeting with the National Party Liaison Committee. Similarly, similar structures are convening in provinces as well as in municipalities made up of all contesting parties and independent candidates so that we may receive reports and follow up on the issues that contestants are raising. The Electoral Commission wishes to thank voters who've already responded to the call to vote and appealed to all those who are remaining to do so before stations close at 2100 hours. All those voters who are in queues will be assisted to vote before the voting process concludes. In areas where we've had challenges with operating our voter management device seamlessly, we have issued instruction that voting should continue using the manual voters roll. The manual voters roll is the legislated process for purposes of voting. The VMD is an addition and an additional safeguard. Thank you, Kate.